I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, today we are reading from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 42. Let's focus on verse 13. And then the men said to me, the northern and southern chambers that face the temple yard are the holy chambers, where the priests who approach the Lord will eat the most holy offerings. And there they will deposit the most holy offerings, the grain offerings, sin offerings, and restitution offerings, for the place is holy. Now, it's difficult to find much drama in these last few chapters of Ezekiel. Most of it reads like an architect's blueprints, frankly. Not a lot of fun, but the essence of what is being communicated is fascinating. We serve a precise God who is fully aware of every detail. Not only does he concern himself with construction details, he's also intimately aware of his standard for mankind, for each one of us, and how each of us measures up to his requirements. God's standard for mankind is perfect holiness, which is really an impossible goal for men to reach by their own achievement. You see, the reason being that we are sinful and we fall short of God's requirements. That's why Jesus' atoning work on the cross is so important. Only Jesus, who is God made flesh, could acquire atonement for us by freely providing the righteousness that we could never accomplish by way of our good works. Colossians chapter 1, verses 21 through 23. And you who were once alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now he has reconciled in the body of his flesh through death to present you holy and blameless, above reproach in his sight. If indeed you continue in the faith, grounded and steadfast, and are not moved away from the hope of the gospel which you heard, which was preached to every creature under heaven, of which I, Paul, have become a minister. Now, whenever a building inspector steps onto a work site, everyone gets nervous. If he is a good inspector, he will explore every detail of the construction, ensuring everything meets the standards set by the building codes. And the building inspector has the power to shut down an entire construction site. I don't care if it's a huge office building, forcing the contractors to start over again. And even if that means pouring a new foundation, that's what has to happen. And in a similar way, people will stand before the Lord in the last days and will be judged according to God's building codes. The 10 Commandments, I suppose, being the brief version. Each life will be thoroughly scrutinized, and not one detail will be allowed to slip by the inspector's eye. And that's why I'm so grateful that Jesus is not just the architect of my salvation, he also is the finishing carpenter and also the building inspector. Hebrews chapter 12, verses 2 and 3, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer, the author, and the perfecter of our faith. For the joy set before him, he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. Well, let's take heart today as we continue to read God's Word. I'm Steve Wiggins, and this is the Groundworks Ministries podcast. Now, Groundworks Ministries operates entirely through financial donations from faithful people like you. And yes, we do need your monthly support. Donating is secure and it's easy at our website, groundworksministries.com. You know, another way to help is to tell people about Groundworks Ministries. Share these podcasts with friends and family and on your social media. And of course, you can always direct folks to our website, groundworksministries.com.